Chris Everett with the Gap Toledo. I'm here in one of Toledo area's beautiful metro parks. A place where you come with your family, maybe take a run, throw the football around. Unfortunately, it's not so nice for some in our community. There's people who actually live back here. I'm going to tell you about one such story of a gentleman who I encountered a few years ago who's become a friend when he was stuck in the Gap. I had met, we'll call him Mike, at an area shelter where I was working a few years ago. He had an exceedingly bad drinking problem and would routinely come into the shelter bleeding or bruised or dizzy, and I had to call emergency services time after time. After the same routine many days in a row, I finally convinced him to get into treatment. So he agreed, and we ended up finding him a place. We actually repeated that routine 3 different times before one stuck. The last one he went to, he stayed for 6 months. Last I knew, he was doing very well. Fast forward to probably 6 months after that, it's February. A cold February winter here in Toledo. I mean, you guys know what I'm talking about. I was going out to get my mail and I hear a voice beckoning me from across the street. I have a metro park across my street, so it's nothing to hear voices, but one calling your name in the middle of February, that's a little different. I noticed a tall figure covered from head to toe, and I could only see his eyes through the slits between his beanie and his scarf. And I could see big black tattoos on the man's face. Initially, I didn't recognize him, but the voice was familiar. Turned out it was Mike. One of his fair weather friends had tattooed his face after he passed out after a night of meth and drinking, and he now had profanity-laced tattoo on his face. He was cold, and he relayed to me that he had been living in the woods across the street from my house for the past 12 days. Unbelievable. I take him into the house, I feed him, and we made some calls to treatment centers. And on the 3rd one, we finally got a hit. The only issue was he wasn't able to get a bed for 3 days. So I'm left with the dilemma: send him back out to the blistering cold and take his chances, let him stay at my house. So I did what I had to do. I took him to the hospital, and he had to tell the nurses that he was going to kill himself just so he could get inside for 3 days. It's a shame in society that's what we have to do to keep people indoors during a snowstorm. I ran into Mike about 2 months ago, and he was doing much better. Although still homeless, we ended up connecting him with the halfway house that accepted him, and that's where he resides today. That's just one of hundreds, if not thousands, of stories that I have to relay to you about what it's like in the Gap. From the other side of it, when I was out there on the street, to this side of it now, working with the people stuck in it. Thank you guys for coming out and listening to Saturday Stories. If you want more information on the Gap, go to thegaptoledo.com. Peace.